Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. Imagine, it began over 60 years ago. That's right, first sale, ran 3 cars through and sold just 1. A decade or so later, it was the largest auto auction in the world. Today, a subsidiary of privately held Cox Enterprises, it has grown to be a technology and innovation leader and now highest volume operator of wholesale auto auctions across the globe. 106 operating locations, 20,000 employees, North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, handling some 8 million vehicles and facilitating transactions representing more than $50 billion a year. In a word, Manheim. To put it simply, transforming the wholesale vehicle buying and selling experience through investments in technology and innovative products and services. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, August 6, 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia, bringing qualified buyers and sellers together in ways never imagined just a few short years ago, and leading an entire industry and an era of electronic and mobile commerce in a once traditional mature business. Auto dealers, banks, car rental agencies, car manufacturers, government agencies, from financing, title work, transportation, recovery, auto body repair, dealership management systems, and more. When it comes to providing auction services for the physical sale of an automobile, and in today's virtual technology-empowered economy, online tools to connect buyers and sellers, well, Manheim simply has no match. Up to the Tech Talk, Joe George, Manheim Senior Vice President of Product Development. Joe oversees long-range development processes, including researching and analyzing new or improved products and services, as well as partnerships that provide strategic and unique competitive advantages for the company. He's also responsible for the evolution of Manheim's digital marketplace, including Manheim Simulcast, OVE.com, Manheim.com, mobile services, and multiple product solution platforms. Prior, Joe was Group Vice President of Manheim Digital. In that role, he was responsible for profit and loss of Manheim's digital marketplace. He had also included Manheim Simulcast, OVE.com, Manheim.com, and Manheim Mobile Services, and multiple digital client solution platforms. What role is technology playing in reshaping the auto auction industry and companies like Manheim? What are the challenges and opportunities to introducing new products and services into a traditional mature marketplace? What role is mobile technology playing in wholesale auction business, and how has this impacted the way customers do business? The Tech Talk makes the high bid to learn more about the best in the auto auction business and discovers the role of technology and innovation in disrupting an entire industry as we speak with Manheim Senior Vice President, Product Development, Joe George. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Joe, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thanks, Frank. It's great to be here.
I could start out by saying it's not your father's Oldsmobile anymore. I guess the idea of car sales and wholesaling and the whole distribution source to consumption has gone as disruptive as any of the other verticals impacted by digitalization, clouds, and broadband, and all that kind of thing. Let's talk a little bit about what the role of technology is playing in reshaping your industry, and obviously companies like Manheim.
Well, Frank, you hit it. Our challenges are the same as many other industries, and the opportunities that technology is creating to help the automotive industry redistribute used cars. Digital technology has provided both our buyers and sellers in our industry to save time, have clearer views of options for vehicles that they're looking to purchase, and clearer views of markets when they're looking to liquidate or sell their vehicles. And Manheim's been an innovator for quite a few years. We launched a a platform called Simulcast in 2002, which basically transmits the live auction at our auction houses over the internet to buyers, either via PC, internet-based PC, and allows them to bid and participate in the transaction. And
just to build a little bit on the perspective in terms of what we're talking about, because again, for our listening audience, obviously at some point the whole structure of source to consumption, where, say, car dealers got their cars from, how they priced them, where they physically had to go to auctions, maybe travel to multiple locations, dealt with maybe only local marketplaces. Now it's a case where you've created almost an ecosystem. I mean, if I understand correctly, not only is it a case where you've got these virtual online events or activities that allow for real-time auctioning, and then obviously as we watch any live streaming, that can be seen, and I guess actual live participation from anywhere with anyone. But if I understand correctly, you have like a certified customer base or a group of players? I mean, could I, as an individual, just kind of dial into the Manheim situation and start bidding on a car?
Unfortunately, you couldn't do that, Frank. We're basically the wholesale automotive industry, and we're so when you trade your car in, and the dealer decides not to keep that car and retail it, 9 times out of 10 that car is going to come through an auto auction to be redistributed to other dealers. And we do business with over 70,000 dealers in America.
Wow.
and really worldwide. Simulcast, you talked about a local becoming a regional, becoming a national, and now it's a global audience. We sold last year cars to dealers from 120 different countries across the Simulcast platform. So a dealer in Atlanta who's taking their trade-ins from the weekend to our Atlanta auto auction, when that vehicle rolls up to our traditional hammer bid live auction block, it's not only exposed to the dealers who've come to our facility that day, but it's also exposed to the Southeast region, the national marketplace, and a global marketplace.
Now, doesn't that, I'm going to assume that kind of invigorates supply and demand, so that obviously pricing reaches some form of medium when you're dealing with, I'm an antique collector. I know for years when you shopped antiques, all you could ever get was what was local, and the market drove the pricing based on what anyone was interested in at that particular point. So the price of that particular piece was based on the local marketplace. When you're talking about a global marketplace, does it actually make that product more competitive, or does it kind of homogenize it down to a pricing structure that ultimately reaches some kind of equality, I guess, for lack of a better term?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. One of the most important things we do as a market maker, an exchange maker, is to ensure as comprehensive of a buyer view as possible, so that when the seller engages the marketplace, they're getting the market clearing price. Which market clearing with 3 people bidding on it from Atlanta versus a global audience of several hundred dealers, you're obviously going to get what the market is. You're going to establish a more comprehensive view of the market.
Now, let's obviously with great opportunities come great challenges. You've got this, and another thing I at least have a general understanding, you even get involved in the logistics, the actual shipping of it as well. So it's kind of, when I say source to consumption, as a dealer, I pretty much can do what I do, build my customer base, handle customer service, I guess financing. I don't know if you guys are into that, but everything else, I can go to Manheim and they basically take care of it for me.
That's right. We are actively involved with moving 5 million cars into our auctions and 5 million cars out of our auctions each year. We also do point-to-point moves through a company that we have called Ready Auto Transport that allows participants to either pick from a full-service experience where we'll manage the entire transportation process for them, up to a self-service which they can put the vehicles they need moved out for bid to other transporters and receive. It's almost like a marketplace for transporters and those who need to ship cars. That's called One Dispatch. So technology is, information and the tools that are working to make the marketplace that we operate a lot more efficient and effective at the same time.
It's got to be a win-win for everybody. That's symbiotic. I mean, I get the efficiency and the idea. How does big data play a role? I mean, everybody's talking big data. Are you getting into the analytics of certain, say, geographic locations or brands? Or
Absolutely. It's big data for us is the transactions that happen not only in the Manheim sphere but also in the Auto Trader Group sphere, so that we're tying together consumer demand data with our wholesale supply data and helping both OEMs, lending institutions, and dealers make better decisions about how they source their cars, where they put their vehicles into the marketplace, and what appropriate market clearing prices should be. So our information teams are actively working to combine these data sets so that we can provide better decision-making tools to ourselves and to our customers.
Now, obviously, anyone that knows Manheim knows that you've been on the cutting edge. I think pioneering would be an understatement. In a situation where you had a pretty traditional, mature business that had been doing that practice of how they went about buying and selling the same pretty much since they began being in business. Talk a little bit about the market's willingness to accept change, and do they actually participate with you, like, for example, feedback from your customers?
Well, initially, it's kind of funny when we launched Simulcast, the dealers were unplugging the cameras in the lanes and making gestures to the cameras. So I would say that initially there was some resistance, and now we've sold close to our $57 billion worth of cars this year across this platform.
Amazing.
And I would say that mobile adoption has been almost a direct line straight up. 50% of our customers engage our marketplace offerings through our mobile offers. And that's in a marketplace that has around 6 million visits per month. Half of those are mobile-based. So I think that automobile dealers have been initially resistant, but they figured out that it can make them more effective and efficient, keep them off airplanes, give them access to data like MMR, Manheim Market Report, when they need it on the lot, doing an appraisal versus having to go back to their desk to do it. I would say that they are, like with everything, I mean, the North American auto dealer is very opportunistic and understands how to use technology to make sense. They're not much for technology's sake, but once they know that it can add value and make them more effective or efficient, they'll adopt it.
I think you're kind of describing the enterprise market in general, don't you think? I think most people,
right.
Maybe they haven't given gestures in front of a camera, but
yeah.
I think there's a little bit of culture shock every time something new comes on the plate. And then eventually it gets to the point where, as you're describing it, I can't imagine how a dealer could be competitive that didn't use the system.
Yeah.
The question would be, how would you go about trying to do it if you weren't using the system? Talk a little bit about when we talk about the simulcast, interesting, is there actually a centralized location where you do the auction, or do you have the technology that allows you to feed in from multiple locations through one central window, or how does that work?
We have the ability to do both. The majority of our simulcast transactions are vehicles that are running through our 700 auction lanes across North America. And it's a live video stream of those vehicles. We have the capability now to take our live bid auction to where the cars are. So through a product we call Simulcast Everywhere, a seller can be at their place of business. The cars can be in multiple locations, and the buyers can be all over the world, and we can hold a live bid auction where everyone can be remote, including the auctioneer. The auctioneer could be at home auctioneering from their office at home.
Well, one of the great things we get an opportunity to do here at Tech Talk is we go from one vertical to the next, and if it's healthcare, it might be telemedicine, and if it's fintech. The other day we were talking about how Walmart has an app now that you can walk around the store and actually do your shopping through your iPhone, and it simply just credits against your account, and you walk out the store with a package. Talk a little bit about where you see things evolving to. Things are hybriding. Obviously, the cloud and the broadband capabilities almost make it unlimited of the things you can do. I guess at some point, market reaches saturation. Does it merge and converge, or what does another 5 years of evolution look like for Manheim?
Well, I think Manheim, first and foremost, we want to deliver the marketplace anytime, anywhere, any device. We're looking for. We don't want to make our customers choose a channel that they interact with us. So if they're mobile on their smartphone, we want them to be able to bid, buy, and value and manage their inventories and their transportation and their financing, all via that smartphone. And if they are at home and they log into their PC, or they're at work and they log into their desktop, all those experiences are the same as if they come to one of our auctions. So we're spending a lot of time and energy converging that experience into one Manheim experience. What does it look like in 5 years? I think that it's a very diverse marketplace that has buyers and sellers interacting together who may never have met each other or never will meet each other, but have confidence to do business with each other several states away because Manheim is in the middle of the transaction and introduces them in a way that makes them both feel comfortable to do business.
That's interesting.
And then you have a more effective redistribution of used car inventories.
Well, I'm just actually kind of touching in my own mind, thinking of the same thing, and that is virtual car dealers. Why would there need to necessarily at some point in the future be a physical plant? A location where I actually went down to look at a car, even in the wholesale space. But I guess that's kind of speculative in terms of where the thing will ultimately reach and how soon, and again, as the culture will take it, and will they be willing to accept it? I'm also got to ask one last question. We're kind of quickly running out of time. Gas Monkey, classic cars. Do you guys play in that arena as well as in used vehicles? We
do. We have specialty sales, Highline exotic sales, muscle car sales, and as well as our sister company, Auto Trader Group, has its Auto Trader Classics brands, where we merchandise a lot of the fun inventory. Well, it sounds like you got the spectrum fairly covered. I can't think of anything else, Joe, that we hadn't already touched upon. Is there anything that you want to bring up that about the depth or breadth of Manheim that we haven't really covered? No, just that it's an exciting time to be in the automotive sector, and we're doing a lot of exciting things here at Cox with both Auto Trader Group and Manheim. Well, Joe, one of the fascinating things about the evolution of Manheim, I think it's a case where good economy, bad economy, the progress has been exponential, as they call it, in terms of what you guys keep pushing the envelope and keep doing. And I think, it gets to a point, sort of like we were saying earlier about everything's the same, only different, is that, you're building an economy, a secondary level economy in terms of a particular vertical, but the reality of the engine and the technology that you guys are innovating, I think ultimately is going to be pervasive beyond any single industry. Hey, thank you so much for all that you do in terms of TAG. Thank you for the time. I know you're busy with the ground that you're covering, literally and virtually, and also, but thank you for taking time to visit us today on Tech Talk. Okay, thank you, Frank. Great to be here.